and then release the 4K later and try and get people to double dip.
Double dipped? What are you talking about?
Hi guys, Geeker64 here, and today we're talking about physical media and Star Trek. That's right, the two main things I talk about on this channel are coming together in this video for the physical media release of Picard's final season, the only season worth watching in my opinion, which the release is just around the corner on September 5th. But there is something missing from this release, and there's a decent chance you may have heard about it, and you know what's missing? It's the 4K.
Maybe there's something wrong with the universe.
And obviously I'm going to get to the 4K missing here in this video. But in this video, we'll be looking at the options that are available, as well as some of the collections and some of the things that they have for this release. And I'll be talking a little bit about the art. And of course, as I said before, we'll talk about the 4K. We'll talk about what's missing. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised I'm doing this video talking about this release and actually excited for this release because I'm not a fan of New Trek. Some people like it. Most people I talk to don't like it. And I'm one of those. I don't like it. I don't like New Trek. I don't like Discovery. I hated Picard season 1 and 2, and I don't use those words lightly. Season 2 of Picard is probably the worst season of television I've ever seen.
I don't think that's a little harsh. I think that's the truth.
So I don't like the first two seasons of Picard. Strange New Worlds, there are some episodes I like, but mostly I've just not really been too happy with it, but it is better than Discovery and the first two seasons of Picard. And Lower Decks is kind of a fun little animated show that I kind of like, but I also don't view it as Star Trek. So, you know, I just don't really like New Trek. I have not liked it. So Picard season 3, when that came up, I was like, all right, I'm going to give it one more chance. And I really liked it. We had a new showrunner for the final season. He was basically left alone to do what he wanted to. He brought on his writing team, his creative team. You got the crew reunited, and you could tell that they actually cared about TNG. They actually cared and understood what Star Trek is, and whenever they were writing it, they actually cared for these characters, and you feel that when you're watching it. Now, it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not the Next Generation TV show. It's not that at all. It's more like the TNG movies, and comparing it to the movies, this was the far better ending for this crew than what we got with Nemesis. Like, it wasn't even close.
Not even close, bud.
But I won't get into a full-blown review of Picard Season 3. I've done a review already for the whole season, and I'll link that at the end of this video if you guys are curious of more of my thoughts about it. But with all that said, let's just go ahead and jump into the video. First up is the DVD option, which is $30 on Amazon and $35 at Walmart. And at that price point, I think the DVD's kind of overpriced. It is just the DVD. The art that is associated with this release, it's the same art that they used for the Blu-ray. And so let's go ahead and get to the Blu-ray, and then I'll share my thoughts on the art. So the standard Blu-ray is $35 at Target. It's $35 at Amazon. It's $37 at Walmart, and Best Buy is $43. So the prices are really all over the board here. Normally, Amazon at Walmart are usually the same all the time. Best Buy is the more premium option. Target can be kind of a mixed bag, but normally leans more towards the Amazon Walmart price. And in regards to the art here, this is the one I think is the most closely associated with this season. And it's done by an artist that I really like named Paul Shipper. And his style harkens back to Drew Struzan, a classic movie poster artist. I've talked about him several times on this channel. I've met him. I love his art. Iconic pieces of art Drew Struzan provided. And so I really like Paul Shipper, right? And I like that they got him to do the posters for this season. And even though I like this poster, I really like the other poster he did even more. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But that is the Blu-ray option. Again, price points are all over the place, but it seems like really about $35 is about what you'll be paying, which I think isn't bad for the Blu-ray. Again, I think, you know, $35. Walmart's wanting $35 for the DVD. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me because you can get the Blu-ray. They're asking $37 in Walmart, so it's like the same price for DVD or Blu-ray. I don't know. I just think the DVD should have been marked down, but that is the Blu-ray option. Next up is the premium option, which is the Steelbook option, which at Target is $37.49. Unfortunately, it's sold out on Target right now for pre-orders. Amazon is listed at $45, and it too is sold out. Walmart does have it in stock still for pre-orders at $37, and Best Buy wants $44. So if you're going to pre-order it, Walmart's definitely the cheaper option at $37 versus $44 at Best Buy. However, I just want to caveat with, as far as pre-orders go, I have read a lot of things where Walmart pre-orders can be kind of spotty, where the pre-orders have arrived, a week later. They don't get there by release day. One thing I will say positive about Best Buy, even though they're always the higher priced option, the packaging is usually pretty good for the Steelbooks, usually. Now, they used to be terrible about it. And also, Best Buy usually gets stuff to you on release day, if not like the day before or the day after. Anytime I've pre-ordered a Steelbook from Best Buy, I've got it on release day.
You're my #1 customer.
So if that matters to you, then, just something to keep in mind. Of course, as I said, it's quite a bit more they're wanting for it at Best Buy. So now I did pre-order the Steelbook myself on Amazon when they had it. Amazon was the first site to drop the Steelbook pre-order. So that's a place I pre-ordered at, but of course it is sold out at this point, unfortunately. I like the Steelbook. I think it looks clean. I like the black around the actual image here. I think this will probably look really good in hand. One thing about Steelbooks is I'm always curious because you don't actually know what type of Steelbook it's going to be, if it's going to be matte or gloss. I'm kind of hoping that it's a matte finish, but I'm leaning towards it probably being a gloss one. Now, if you look at the back of the Steelbook, you have the Enterprise D, which is my personal favorite Star Trek ship and probably my favorite sci-fi ship of all time. I love it. I've got a model back there. I've got, you can kind of see it. Let's make myself full screen here. You can kind of see it there. You got the Enterprise D, Voyager, as well as the Orville, and obviously Deep Space Nine right back here.
My Enterprise is far superior.
This one was not done by Paul Shipper, though. This design was not done by that artist. It was done by another graphic design artist. I don't know really who did it. This looks like it was probably put together, in Photoshop. But it looks good. I like it. I think it'll look pretty clean on a Steelbook. Now, here's another option that's available, which is the Complete Series DVD at Walmart. It's really confusing because they have one listed for $35 and then they have one for $50. They're both listed as Complete Series DVD. So Walmart is always bad with their listings when it comes to physical media, in my opinion. Anytime I go check there, they really have stuff that the pricing is weird, and sometimes they have stuff listed. Sometimes they have pictures missing, and it's just, yeah, Walmart's bad when it comes to physical media, I think.
Not great, Bob.
But the Best Buy is asking $59. This is for DVD. Paying $60 for a DVD is insane. I would never pay that. Now, I obviously don't recommend the Complete Series because I think 1 and 2 are terrible. I think season 1 and 2 of this show are completely terrible.
Pathetic.
I do not recommend it. Matter of fact, I actively discourage people from watching it. Even though I highly recommend season 3, I'm like, hey, if you haven't seen anything, don't watch season 1 and 2. Just go to 3, watch it in isolation. I don't think you don't really need to see anything from the first 2 seasons in order to understand and track it and like what's going on here in season 3. So, but that's just my opinion. And I'm just sharing this option for those that are interested, even though my opinion is not to get it. Now, if you go to the Complete Series on Blu-ray at Amazon at $60 and Best Buy is $80. The idea of paying $80 for this, just don't do it. Blu-ray does appear to have a slightly separate design. Again, I don't recommend the option here. I don't need to reiterate that anymore, I guess.
Yeah, you keep telling me that.
So here's the premium option, the big option that's available. The Picard Legacy Collection at Amazon is $211. Big money. And Target's $212, so $1 more at Target. And Best Buy is obviously the most premium option at $230, right? The thing with this release is it is listed for release on October 17th. So you're going to have to wait about 6 weeks for this release if that's what you want, if you want this complete set. Now this one is stacked. There's lots of content and special features that are included on this thing. So let's look at what's in this package.
What's in the box?
Now they do list it as a limited edition and that it's numbered, right? But they don't. Nothing I saw said what the definition of limited edition meant. Is that 500? Is that 1,000, 2,000? How many is it? I mean, it's kind of important to know if you're a collector and you're buying this for collecting purposes, because other than that, well, we'll just get into it. I do love how it also describes itself as one-of-a-kind packaging. From the packaging, it basically just looks like they have separate holders and they all just fit. It looks very standard to me personally. But let's look at what all's in here. There's 54 discs in this set, so you're definitely no shortage of discs, right? So they have all the series and films featuring Jean-Luc Picard. Allegedly. I'll get into that here in a minute. But they have season 1 through 7, Star Trek Next Generation on Blu-ray, which I already have here. And if you're a hardcore collector, which is basically what they're targeting here with this release, you probably already have this. And if you already have this, there really is no reason to get this unless you just want it for collectible purposes. It also includes Picard season 1 through 3, of course. I would never pick this up because I have this and I don't want season 1 and 2. It also includes all the TNG movies, which includes Generations, First Contact, Nemesis, and Insurrection. So it has all of the content with Picard, right? But it actually doesn't. And I'll get into that here in a minute. Let's look at what else is in here. There's a magnet with some badges and some coasters and playing cards, lots of little tchotchkes.
They come to tchotchkes for the atmosphere and the attitude.
Wisdom of Picard. It looks like a little book or something. Their new cover art. I like how it lists new cover art as one of the selling points. But this has 35 hours of bonus features. I'm pretty sure that's just pulling all the bonus features from all the movies, all the TV shows. Probably the bulk of that is the special features that are just going to come from here. I don't think there's anything that's exclusive to this set that I know of. I don't see anything listed anyway, so I guess there's no new special features that are exclusive to the set, which is actually kind of good. I'd hate to have some special feature locked away on this 200 plus premium box set. But as I said, most likely if you are the type to buy this, you already own TNG on Blu-ray. I think that you're targeting the same kind of person. So I don't really think this one's going to sell all that well. Plus, I know a lot of people don't like Picard season 1 and 2, right? Saying more than half of the Star Trek fan base does not like the first 2 seasons of Picard, I don't think is a stretch based on all of my interactions talking with people who like Star Trek, other Star Trek fans.
Sheer hubris.
There are some people who like it, and that's fine, but the vast majority of people that I talk to don't like it, and I don't like it either. So I don't really know why anybody would want to have it on their shelf, right? And getting back to what I mentioned before, this is billed as the definitive Picard collection, and there is one episode that is missing, that's not in here, that has Picard in it, and that is the Deep Space Nine pilot, right?
I'm not Picard.
Picard and Sisko have a major interaction, right? And is it integral to Picard's story? Not necessarily, but it does give a little bit of a reminder of Locutus and how Picard's perceived by other people in Starfleet, right? That still had an impact and had an impact on Sisko's life, and Picard is a part of that. So he's forever intertwined in that, whether he wants to be or not. And, even though it doesn't have a whole lot of runtime within the pilot for Deep Space Nine, he is a part of that. So if you want to have a definitive Picard collection, you probably should include the pilot for Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and is not included here.
Accessories sold separately, batteries not included.
Before moving into the special features for the basic season 3 set and the recap for the pricing points, there's a section I always put into these type of videos, which is what's missing. Normally it involves art that wasn't used, but while that's kind of going to be talked about here, the main thing is the elephant in the room, which is the fact there is no 4K, right? This has caused a lot of fans to give this release bad reviews prior to its release. If you look at the negative reviews for this season, for the physical media release, they all have to do with the fact the 4K is missing. So the Blu-ray is getting punished because there is no 4K, which is kind of a shame, right? And this is made worse because Strange New Worlds had a 4K release. It just had a 4K release. Both Strange New Worlds and Discovery were streamed in 4K. They have 4K options that are available. So why is Picard getting shafted? There is some debate over whether Picard's final season was actually finished in 4K, if the 4K actually exists and they're not just putting it out. They did just stream in 1080p, but there was HDR. From what I read, it seems like the general consensus is that the show was finished in 2K, so it had HDR, but it didn't stream. It streamed in 1080p. And for me, one of the reasons I really wanted to get the physical media release is because I want to see an improved version of the show, because I had some issues with the streaming, particularly with the lighting. I watched the show on a 65-inch OLED, and it was pretty dark. Even boosting it up, it's just dark. there was some issues with, I think the pixel rate dropping, and I have 1 gig fiber internet. So it's not like I have a bad internet connection. I never had any issues streaming anything else. I did have some issues streaming this one. I never seem to have issues streaming Strange New Worlds. And it was dark, right? I want to see a lighting fix. I want, like, all this stuff, I think, being fixed for the physical media would be great. So we know Picard was filmed on a shoestring budget, right? So I completely buy them not finishing the show in 4K. But you would think that we might get that upgrade for the physical media, especially since this season is probably the most well-received season of New Trek. At least it has been critically. It seemed to have brought together people who like New Trek and people who like classic Trek. Not everybody, obviously, but this season seemed to bridge that gap where most people really liked it. So obviously there's petitions out there to get a 4K. My guess is that this will probably get a 4K later on, and I think that's always the plan for Paramount. I think their plan was to not release the 4K and then release the 4K later and try and get people to double dip.
Double dipped? What are you talking about?
But I could be wrong, and there could just not ever be a 4K. Who knows? I do want to share one other thing that is missing from this release, or something that I wish was actually included as a potential option, and that is the other Paul Shipper poster here. Okay. I guess I kind of get why this wasn't used, because I guess there's potential spoilers in the poster, but the poster does exist. It's floated around. So why not use it? Why not just go ahead and put it? Why not just use this as one of the covers, right? The show's been out for a while now. It's been out for months. Most of the people who are interested in checking out have probably already checked it out. If they haven't checked it out, they've probably heard about it, so at this point, just go ahead and use the poster. It exists. It's floated around. It's fine. Just go ahead and do it. I want to see the Enterprise D on the cover. That's what I want to see. That's just me personally, and I think that this poster actually looks better than the other Paul Shipper poster, me personally. Here they are side by side. Comment below and let me know which one you prefer. Do you prefer the first cover or the second cover? And that's it, guys. It was kind of nice to talk about both physical media and Star Trek in this video, 2 things I talk about a lot on this channel. So if you like both of those things, please consider subscribing. Again, I'm going to link my review of the season 3 of Picard at the end of this video, as well as a video essay talking about New Trek versus Deep Space Nine. But as always, I'm curious as to what set you guys are going to be picking up, so comment and let me know. I want to thank everybody for sticking around on this video. Thank you, subscribers. All of you are awesome. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Do all the YouTube stuff, or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm DTruth64, and I'll always tell you the truth.